Hey guys, what's going on? So today I have a really quick rant about how, in my opinion, grindcore is starting to become too closely associated with death metal, and people are starting to critique bands in grindcore that aren't like, okay, so people are starting to critique bands in grindcore that for not being brutal enough because they don't sound death metal enough, and now I'm just gonna be complaining about how that's stupid. So anyways, back on playing D-Side Servants of the Light. Not the best D-Side album, but pretty good one though. So yeah. Anyways, so basically, like, people fucking, if you look at like the most popular grindcore bands, at least the most popular ones that people listen to, not necessarily the ones that are the most well known. Like Pig Destroyer, for example, is a very well known grindcore band, but it's like not everyone. You'll meet more people on the internet that talk shit about Pig Destroyer than people that actually listen to them. Like, there's one of those bands. The same thing with like bands like, it's not grindcore, but like Cattle Decapitation or Dying Fetus, where not a lot of people like them, but they're very well known. So it's one of those bands, or Pig Destroyer is one of those bands, and a lot of other more newer grindcore bands are kind of in that category. Anyway, so basically, like, the thing is, people like fucking, like, they'll listen to, like I said, they'll listen to like fucking like Prowler in the Yard or something by Nazem or Wormrot or something like that, or some really good newer. Nazem isn't newer, and neither is Pig Destroyer, but like stuff like post 90s, basically grindcore. And they'll bitch and complain and be like, oh, well, it's not brutal enough. Like, they'll listen to Prowler in the Yard by Pig Destroyer and be like, the vocals sound too pussy, they don't sound like fucking like brutal. And it's like, grindcore vocals aren't even meant to be like death metal vocals, because grindcore, obviously, it's not death metal. I mean, Pig Destroyer has more hardcore style vocals. They do have some like death growls here and there, but for the most part, it's more hardcore style screams. Which, I mean, grindcore has elements of hardcore, so how can you say that, like, how can you critique a band for basically having a characteristic of the genre, theoretically? Because hardcore elements is obviously part of grindcore. If it weren't for that, it would probably be just really fast death metal. So, like, yeah, I think that's really stupid. Because, like, I don't know, I feel like people are saying that, like, people say that they love grindcore when in reality they just like grindcore bands that sound more death metal, which happen to be the ones that people like the most. I mean, look at, like, stuff like Terrorizer, Napalm Death, fuck, I don't have it from here, no, get it, fucking, like, early Carcass. Like, people listen to, or Repulsion, definitely. Like, people listen to stuff like that, and then compare bands that have less death metal influence, because if you listen to, like, this is more gore, like, Reconputrefaction is more gore grind, but obviously that's a lot of death metal, because, like subgenres of grindcore, like, gore grind, porno grind, obviously death grind, all have a lot of death metal influence, if not more death metal influence than hardcore. Definitely for gore or alphas, actually. Napalm Death, they've got really death metal-y vocals, at least on this album. Scum also has a lot of death metal-y stuff on it, but not as much as, like, for Enslavement to Obliteration. Obviously, Napalm Death went full-on death metal later. And Terrorizer is, like, borderline death grind territory, in my opinion, because it's, like, the riffs and song structures and everything are a lot less quick, and they're a little bit more well thought out than with most grindcore. I'm not saying that grindcore necessarily has to have sloppy songwriting. I mean, you look at Pig Destroyer, like I said, they've got great, memorable songwriting, but Terrorizer, their riffs aren't quite as chaotic. They're more death metal-y, even though they are very punky at times. That's why I'd say this is still a grindcore album. It's not a death metal album, but has a lot of death metal influence. And then Repulsion, in my opinion, they're barely a grindcore band. They have elements of other stuff, like a lot of thrash metal and old school death metal. But I still consider them part of grindcore, I guess, for simplicity's sake. But people listen to those bands, and basically I think that I feel like death metal fans are starting to listen to grindcore and associate with death metal too much, because then they'll critique just grindcore bands that don't have enough, that have hardcore influence, like I said, like Pig Destroyer or Nazem or Wormrot. And it's really stupid when people critique those bands, because it's okay if you don't like a band, I don't like Pig Destroyer because I don't like the vocals. Okay, that's fine. But, like, don't act like you're huge. Okay, if you, like, fucking hate all these bands because, oh, the vocals sound fucking gay because it has more hardcore shouts than fucking death growls. Like, Like, don't fucking consider yourself a grindcore fan because that's a part of the genre. I mean, you could, like, that's why I'm trying to, it's, oh, fuck. I'm trying to figure out how to, like, condense what I'm trying to get at into words. What I'm trying to say is that people are associating grindcore too much with death metal, and they listen to grindcore bands looking for the same thing that they'd be looking for with a death metal band. I think that that's really stupid, because these people are bitching and complaining about a lot of bands having certain sounds or whatever that they don't like because, oh, it's not death metal enough. But they're not saying it's not death metal enough, they're saying it sucks because they're not accustomed to that style. And they don't like that style, and that's fine if you don't like that style, but don't consider yourself a grindcore fan if you can't stand vocals like that, or if you can't stand, like, grindcore bands, you know, having, like, and again, I use Pig Destroyer as, well, Pig Destroyer is a really good example, because a lot of people shit on them for stupid reasons. Like, you know, there's, like, breakdowns and stuff in Pig Destroyer, that's a hardcore thing, and grindcore has fucking core in the name, and hardcore is obviously a huge part of grindcore, because, like, you know, bands like Napalm Death started out in, like, the hardcore punk scene. So obviously, there's going to be a lot of hardcore influences. I'm not saying that breakdowns are part of hardcore punk, because they're more part of regular hardcore, which is a different thing, that branched off of hardcore punk later. But it's really stupid when people critique bands for not being part of... It's really hard to phrase this. What I'm trying to complain about is that people are critiquing bands for having sounds of a different genre. The problem is that grindcore and death metal are two genres that I feel like are too mixed together, and people are starting to listen to grindcore bands looking for something that they'd be looking for in a death metal band, and it's stupid that people are bitching about these bands having certain sounds because these are sounds from a genre that are part of the fucking name of the genre and, like, the key characteristics of the genre, and it's stupid that people are complaining about it because they're clearly looking for more of a death metal band. So it's like, if you listen to, like, fucking, I don't know, Nauseam, and complain that, oh, it doesn't sound brutal like fucking Impetigo and Mortician and Repulsion. Like, Impetigo and Mortician are obviously very death, and Repulsion too, mostly Impetigo and Mortician, are very death metal influenced death grind bands. Are they great bands? Hell yeah, they're fucking amazing bands. But you can't compare, like, really death metal-y grindcore to straight up grindcore. Like, it's stupid. But yeah, I don't know. This rant is kind of fueled mostly just by the Pig Destroyer example, because it's like, I think that Pig Destroyer is starting to be one of those bands that gets, like, hated for being not brutal enough, which is really stupid because, for fuck's sake, look at this album cover. And musically, it's also pretty fucking heavy. It's just a different kind of heavy than death metal. You know, it's not like if you listen to Pig Destroyer, it's a different kind of heavy than if you were to listen to like fucking, I don't know, like Nile or Dying Fetus or something like that. It's not that kind of heavy. It's a different kind of heavy. Because it's less about, you know, the technicality and the groove. Well, groove, yeah, but it's less about technicality and sounding like the most brutal, nasty band ever. You know, it has elements of hardcore, and it's a different kind of heavy. It's more of a raw, aggressive, energetic kind of heavy. And people are looking for, like, brutality and nastiness in grindcore too much. Which, obviously, there is brutality and nastiness in certain forms of grindcore, like death grind and porno grind and gore grind. But, again, people are comparing... Like I said, I feel like those genres are more part of death metal than they are of grindcore and hardcore. So, yeah. I feel like the two genres are getting too mixed, at least the fan bases. Not this musical styles, I don't care about. I'm not complaining about, like, death metal and grindcore mixing because I love a lot of bands that mix not deathcore, what the fuck. I love a lot of bands that mix, you know, death metal and grindcore. Like, I enjoy Mortician and Impetigo. I love Cattle Decapitation. Death grind is a really great subgenre. Gore grind, again, pretty cool. But, like, I feel like the fan bases are merging too much. I'm not saying, oh, if you like death metal, you can't listen to grindcore. But what I'm trying to say is that if you like death metal, don't listen to a grindcore. Don't check out a grindcore band looking for stuff that you'd look for in a death metal band, because it's different. They have similarities like blast beats and maybe harsh vocals, and in some cases lyrical themes, but not always for the most part. Again, they're two different genres, and I feel like people are starting to merge them together. together, like, mentally too much, not stylistically. The people look for death metal elements in regular grindcore too much, which is stupid. Because Pig Destroyer obviously does have, Pig Destroyer and Awesome Wormrot, they all have death metal elements, like, you know, blast beats and harsh vocals, and that's about it. They also have D beats and stuff, which death metal doesn't have too much of. They use breakdowns, which death metal does have, but it's different. It's in a different way. Pig Destroyer especially their newer stuff, has like breakdowns and stuff. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna title this video. It's just hard. It's a really weird rant, but it's mostly just about how people are like shitting on bands for the for unreasonable reasons, basically. And it's starting to affect the genre. Because if you look past surface level grindcore, most of it will have a lot more hardcore elements than death metal. And it's really stupid that people are complaining about bands having... Okay, it's stupid, like, I'm not saying it's stupid that you don't like a band for that, because if you don't like it, then that's your opinion. There's nothing you can do about that. But I think it's stupid when people shit on bands for the wrong reasons, or for stupid reasons like that. I don't know, this is a really weird, confusing rant, but yeah. So that's it for this video, though. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you agreed. I know it's a really weird rant, kind of a really weird topic. But I don't know, just something I had to get off my chest. So that's it for this video, though. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And, oh, also one last thing. Speaking of subscribing, I'm almost at 600 subs, and once I reach 600 subs, I'm going to be doing a contest for a giveaway for some extra patches that I have lying around, like a ton of patches that a friend gave me that I'm not going to be using. So yeah, so if you're not subscribed, please subscribe so I can do that, because I don't want to do a 594 subs thing. Anyways, so that's it for this video, though. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time.